Gosh, what am I going to talk about? Hold on. There it is. Word up, people. How you doing? How are you? Are you good? How's your wording? How's your writing journey? Here's a quick question. Do you glean anything from this? If I edit everything I've shot, this would be the third video in a row that I shot that did not include alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic, just in case you're concerned. I don't actually drink that much. But that's irrelevant. So I want to talk about showing versus telling today. There are actually two topics from a creative writing perspective that I want to talk about at some point. Today I'm going to talk about showing versus telling. At another point I want to talk about point of view, because they're both things that I had to work on and I've improved on primarily through my editor's guidance and help. And then I've refined that because of the German being very focused on whether I'm showing or telling or which POV I'm telling the story from. But I want to talk only about showing versus telling today because that's a bit tricky to me. I thought I heard something vibrating. But let's talk about showing versus telling. So there are some basic mechanics that go into writing that are not like, grammar or punctuation or that kind of thing. And so showing versus telling is one of those things. You have to have a balance between what you tell the reader and what you show the reader. And so there are some tricks to this, and I'm not going to give you tricks of the trade because I don't really have any. Maybe I will later on, but I'd have to kind of crystallize the way I do that. But showing versus telling is this really kind of intangible, ephemeral kind of, concept that can be really complicated. And I mean, it's pretty simple on the surface. So instead of telling you Bella is angry, I show you by saying Bella barked loudly and ran around the house, past all the windows and doors, wanting out because the sound of the UPS truck was reverberating through you're thinking right now, that's how he writes? I'm not reading his shit. But you get the picture, right? Yes, we see. That's when I fell for the leader of the pack. Vroom, vroom. Dawn. Gone, leader of the pack. Now I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, instead of just telling you that Bella is angry, I want to show you that he's angry. But here's the thing. Sometimes I want to tell you something, and in telling you that thing, I'm showing you something else. Does that make sense? So on the surface, if I say Bella is angry, hey, you have got to be kidding me. Oh boy. So there's this tricky thing here because on the one hand, there are times when my editor or the German will say, you're telling me here, you're not showing me. And it's true because I am telling them something, but what I'm telling them isn't actually what I want them to see. Do you follow? And by telling them that, by telling you Bella is angry, I may be showing you a broader, like, why is she angry? That's what I'm showing you rather than telling you what has made her angry. It's a bad example. Maybe I should have planned this a bit better. Something. So you have these rules, right? You've got, you don't always show. You do. There are some things you tell. But how do you know when it's okay to bend or break a rule, right? So I used to say when I studied classical music in college, to help myself understand it, I would say I have to master this classical form before I have earned the right to bend or break the rules. It seems fairly logical, right? Or is that just me? I think that writing is the same way. At what point do I know that I have earned the right to break or bend the rules, right? So when is the creative license as an author, as a writer, qualified for me? And until that point, is it just gimmicks and bullshit, or this bougie kind of self-inflated whatever kind of attitude toward myself? Do you see what I'm saying? Like it can be complicated to know just exactly when is okay for me to break or bend rules. And showing and telling is one of those times when sometimes my editor or the German will tell me why this is, show me why this is, explain this to me. And I'm like, I'm not going to explain every little thing to you. You know, put yourself in the character's position. You would feel the same way. You would do the same thing, maybe in a different way, but you would identify with what they're doing and feeling. I'm not going to spell it out. And that's important to me. I don't want to over-explain. And I do have a problem with showing too much, or at the very least, using too many words. I will have so many metaphors in a paragraph that, people check out. And I know this because my editor and my beta reader, the German, have both said, you got to clean this shit up, I mean, the German, she might say it that way. My editor would be a bit more diplomatic about it. But so that's a question. I'm just curious, for those of you who write and aren't here just because I'm a handsome face and have swagger for days, what has been your experience? When do you feel like it's okay to break the rules? Like I've said in another video that I write for my alpha reader, which is me, which means that I'm not going to write to placate a specific audience or a traditional format for the way stories are told, contemporary stories are told. I'm going to write for me, and as long as the story is compelling, I don't care if it hits all the beats and all those things, as long as I'm satisfied. I will take my editor's advice. I will take my beta reader's advice. I will take my reviewers into my readers into mind when I'm creating, but ultimately I want to make myself happy. When is it okay to break the rules? When is it okay to bend the rules? When is it, at what point are you qualified to do that as a writer? Do you understand my question? Because that's an interesting concept to me. Anyway, that's all the time I've got for you today. I can't speak English. My battery's about to die, which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Peace out, Home Skillet. Take care of yourself, people. Write if that's what you do, if that's what gives you life. But find something that gives you life. Like, be happy. Live long and prosper. Peace out. I don't know why I just licked my finger and pointed at you. That was ridiculous. I'm embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. I don't give a shit. This is what my shirt says.